Welcome to episode 29 of Northwynd, the Druid True First Life series. Level 29. Wow. Almost there. I'm kissing 30. In this episode, I'm going to be doing Epic Elite Legend of Two-Toed Tobias, also called a Legend Revisited, also called Jibbers. Drops one of the most important items in the game, which I'll talk about in a little bit once I start the quest. So let's take a look at where things are. On the Epic Destiny side, I've got things almost filled out. The only thing that's left is to finish filling out Commanding Presence, which will give me 150% threat at all times with melee ranged and magical attacks. Really, really awesome for holding aggro on a caster, or any toon, but it works really well for my playstyle. And I finished filling out everything else. I do want to emphasize that Stand Against the Tide is my default stance. That's the stance that I'm in 99% of the time. And the only time that I'll switch to Vigor of Battle is if I know I'm doing content where there is nothing that can knock me down and I feel like I need the extra hit points. So typically for me, that just means the Mark of Death raid. There's nothing in there that'll knock you down. And hey, 100 extra hit points or so, I'll take it. Why not? There's not really anything else that comes to mind that I'm like, oh, this, I definitely like Vigor of Battle for this one, that. So, Stand Against the Tide has the knockdown immunity, which I've talked about before is not 100% total immunity proper, sadly, because you're still going to get knocked down from dragon pounces and giant stomps and Drider webline trips, but there's a whole bunch of things that it does make you immune to, and that does make an important difference. And I felt that difference last night. I was doing a Legendary Elite Search and Rescue with a pug, and we had just got done doing the Underdark optional, and I went back to use the Shrine, and everybody else had DDoR'd out, leaving me there alone, and I'm not faulting anybody, I'm just saying that this is what happened. I was there alone at the bottom of the summoning chamber, and now I have to go back up with all those respawn slads. Okay? I didn't have the knockdown immunity yet. I was still one rank away from it last night at that point. And so when I tried to go up, and I didn't have any way to miss myself, so I aggroed the slads, and they're just knocking me down like crazy. I can't even stand up. There's so many of them throwing rocks at me. And for the brief portion of a second that I was able to stand up, I'd hit a regenerate, and that would keep me up as they were just beating on me, just a mob of them. And I actually, really couldn't stand up the entire time, but again, for that, I was spamming regenerate, so that I actually stayed up for a minute before they finally overcame me. So the defenses were actually kind of cool, but the fact that I just kept getting knocked down totally sucked. So that's, if I had been in Stand Against the Tide, that would not have happened. I would have been fine. And so that's just one example of why I love Stand Against the Tide. It's also great for, even though it doesn't prevent, Dragon Pounds knockdown, it does prevent the knockdown that you can get from the Dragon Wing Buffet. So that can be really helpful. So there's all kinds of things that it'll stop you from getting knocked down from. Air elementals, Garistros, and Minotaurs rushing at you, things like that. I just love it. Alright, so I got 3 more fate points. I'm not sure if I got one from leveling, or if I can't remember how many. I got some extra ones. You get some extra fate points at level 29, but there's not really anything where I could take the first one to tier 2. For what I have opened up, there's not really anything I want to put in there. Rejuvenation Cocoon isn't that great if you have Renewal, but it's still useful. It still helps some low-cost healing. I could put Feyform in there for 15 extra universal spell power. That's not a very exciting option, honestly. I don't have Exalted Angel yet, so I can't put in Endless Faith. certainly don't have Magister open yet, so I can't put Evocation Specialist. Those are some things that I might like to put in there if I had them open, but I don't. So I'm just saying, like, on this toon, that I have limited Destiny resources available to me, I'm still going with this. Just show you the map view real quick. So I almost got Unyielding Sentinel filled out, and so what my next plan would be, and you know, this is almost over for Northwynd. But if I was going to keep going with this toon, what I would probably do is probably go about to level 3 in each of these over here, and then start working down to Draconic Incarnation, because I really want to get that Energy Burst Cold. That's a really, really nice addition to things. And then, you know, you take Divine Crusader to 3, you get access to Empyrean Magic, you take Exalted Angel up a little bit, you know, you're going to get your Endless Faith if you want that. If you're a first lifer, those extra spell points are really handy. 10% extra spell points, that's pretty big. You know, you combine that, that's 10% more spell points, combine that with the 10% spell point savings from Pansophic Circlet, and you've just functionally extended your mana pool by 20%. More or less. I don't know if the math will work out perfectly, but in lay terms, let's just call that 20%. Let's take a look at some numbers here. So the armor class is up to 115. There's a lot of room for improvement. You know, a better shield would make a difference. You know, I could get that up to probably about 130 really easily with a better shield. Maybe even 135, or 130. So that's one easy difference. 121 PRR, pretty cool. 1,334 hit points. So that's down a little bit from last video because I'm in Standing Against the Tide and not Bigger Battle Stance. Check this out. I got that Diamond of Festive Wisdom. I think I mentioned in the last video. I'm not even sure now. I might have just mentioned it in my journal. So I bid 105 shards on this, which is a pretty decent price, and I won it. Nobody outbid that. These sometimes will sell for like 300-400 shards each. So, you know, the initial bid was 105 shards, so I went for it and got it. And look at that. Now look at my shards. I have none left. So last night I was re-rolling chests in Legendary Elite Search and Rescue, and that put me down to 1 shard. And so, you know, I log in today, I'm like, I didn't even realize I was that low. I knew I was low. I was like, crap. So I got to use that. I used that 1 shard to post one thing in the shard exchange. Now I got to build back up. But, you know, it's almost over anyways. But I would like to have a few shards because, you know, might be revisiting Northwynd. Maybe there'll be a season 2. Can't promise anything, but, you know, if the Druid enhancement pass ever frickin' happens, and it's cool, you know, maybe we'll see like a Season 2 True Second Life. I don't know. I'm just putting that out there. Okay. I didn't have any place to put that, really sadly. I mean, I could have overwritten the Diamond of Charisma, but I really hate to lose that. I mean, this is 1 more to my DC, a few more spell points. Maybe I'll get some gear at 30. There's some other gear I'd like to get, so maybe I'll slot that up. But not right now. I just got that like 20 minutes ago. Okay, these are the same. Wisdom 10, Evocation Focus 3. I don't have a lot of new gear to share with you. The armor's the same. Slots are the same. Bracers are the same. I could have overwritten the Spellcraft. You know, this is the same. I'm looking for better. This is the same. I'm looking for better. The story of my life. I haven't been able to find a whole lot in Auction House the last couple levels. Iron Mitts is the same. Spinneret's the same. This belt's new, so this is Con 11 now, pairing 5. It was Con 10 before. Epic Cloak of Flames is the same. The slots are the same. The Legendary Symbol of the Slave Lord is the same. Still slotted the same as last video. The necklace is the same, so the con is redundant from the belt. Really, this is just giving me 11 extra PRR. If I could find something better, great. But like I said, I've been looking and I haven't really found anything that's gonna, you know, be meaningful. Legendary Pansophic Circlet's the same. I don't know if the Diamond of Insightful Wisdom +2 was in there before. I think it was. Anyways, I was happy to get that. Wall of Wood's the same. You know, random gen shields are going to give me a much better shield bonus, and I've been looking. I just can't find anything that's even meaningful at this point. But then again, everything here is so meaningless that any shield would be better because of the shield bonus. I mean, like I went over last time, I'm not benefiting from any of the stats on this anymore. And it's all redundant to other things, and then the scimitar is the same. Glaciation 150, +6 evocation, Meridian Fragment. I love the Meridian Fragment. I missed that on Ginger Spice. And Ginger Spice, I'm now using a triple earth scimitar, which is level 26, pretty awesome, and I do appreciate the acid procs. I need to do a video of that. And it's got just 3 tiers of wisdom, so it's wisdom 15, I think insightful wisdom 7, and an exceptional wisdom 2. It's the only source of exceptional stat 2 in the game is tier 3 green, legendary green steel. So that's pretty cool, but I don't have an orange slot to put the Meridian Fragment, which is kind of sad. Okay, are we doing the quest yet? Sure. I chose this quest, like I said, because it has one of the most important items in the game for every toon. Every toon that you're serious about playing should have the Cursed Blade of Jack Jibbers. And, you know, if you already know about it, you may, you know, and you're a little bit newer, you might be in that category of people that think, you know, oh, I can't solo this, or I can't solo it on Epic Elite. And I want you to see that you can. I soloed this on Epic Elite 22. I would not recommend that you do that. That was ridiculous, and I got so lucky that I didn't die. I'm just going to run by these guys and drag them down here. I was jumping around like a jackass to stay alive. But I pulled it off. It was a little bit of a rabbit out of my hat, but I pulled it off on the first lifer at 22. I don't think I tried again soloing it on Epic Elite until like 26 or 27. So I dropped my Earthquake, my Sleet Storm, or no, just my Ice Storm. Earthquake, Ice Storm, and Storm of Vengeance. That's all that's here. I'm going to go ahead and drop the Primal Scream. Lots of shrines in this quest. And these mobs can hit pretty hard. You know, but I want you to see that, you know, the CC holes, I'm not worried about those kobolds. There's a few kobolds left. I don't care. So it's a great item, and I want you to see that you can solo this on Epic Elite. And if you're not familiar with it, it's a clickie. It's called the Cursed Blade of Jack Jibbers. It's not an actual weapon, it sounds like it. It's just a clickie, and it lets you self-raise. And it actually raises you as a wraith for 1 minute, and then you die again. But the point is that gives you time to run to a shrine if you're soloing, or get some reses off if you're in a group, for example. I mean, it's a total raid saver, and so this is an important point. It's the only item in the game that allows you to self-raise in a raid. So it's just huge. As you probably well know, Jibbers Spirit Cakes do not work in raids. So whether you're soloing, whether you're in a group, I mean, there's just every reason to have this item. And it's a pretty rare drop. You know, I've literally run this quest well over 1,000 times. It has been a campaign of mine to help my guildies get this on as many alts as possible, because I know the value of it. I know that, you know, we're a raiding guild. The Hylers of Malkir is a raiding guild. We raid it virtually every night, and you know, sometimes you get the lag monster shows up. You know, and going back about a year ago, lag was so unbelievably bad, and we saved quite a few raids because people had Jibbers blades. Because we lag wiped or whatever. So just hugely, hugely valuable item. You know, when you're going into a big group of mobs, if you feel like you're going to take some hits, throw regenerate just as you're getting to them, and that's going to carry you through until your CC kicks in. That time I threw the Sleet Storm too. Okay, I threw the Storm of Vengeance, and let's do the Primal Scream. And it will, you know, if there are some mobs that don't get knocked down by your Earthquake and they're still hitting you, that, you know, that regenerate kicks in. And as I've said before, I don't memorize the single target. You know, the spell point savings casting a single target versus multi-target. Like, I just don't care. I'd rather just use that spell slot for something else. So I'm gonna throw a regenerate now. Let's throw the primal. Double shot of the old sunburst. Cleans them right up. Nice. Another collectible there. DDO, the game where fungus and mold is exciting. Okay, I can mana dump here. Because I know as soon as I kill this vampire, and killing the vampires, like when I did this at 22, I didn't kill these guys. I did not have the resources. They were just dancing me all day long. But I like to kill them, you know, once I can, because it's like a, you know, optional worth about 15k, and it only takes a couple extra minutes. So if you're getting XP, do the vampires, or you know, you can run by them if you prefer. If you're just doing speed runs, that's cool too. Okay, watch this. So, I talked before, Gust of Wind. I got it hotkeyed so I can blow out these stupid dancing balls. Blows out AoEs like dancing balls and, you know, fogs and stuff. See, look at this. Boom. Gone. Sadly, it blows out mine as well, but, you know, dancing balls can be really irritating. You know, so it's going to blow out your own Ice Storm and Sleet Storm and Storm of Vengeance and Earthquake. How does that make sense? But it does. They're just coded all the same way, apparently, for purposes of Gust of Wind. See, it's a cakewalk. You can do this on Epic Elite. And again, that's the takeaway I want you to get from this. If you're a newer player, and you know, this series is designed for newer players. You might have thought, oh, Epic Elite Jibbers, that's crazy hard. Like, you can do it. Do it on this build for sure. Do it on Warlock for sure. Well, Jibbers can be a bastard though. He stones you. You're pretty scary. But that's one of our secret weapons as a druid. In elemental form, we are immune to petrification. Woot! Easy to get breakables bonuses in here, so make sure you do your breakables. They're all just sort of on the way. I'm so pleased with the performance of the primal screen. It's been really nice. Just extra survivability, extra AoE DPS, low, you know, free basically. You just have a number of charges. So totally awesome. Still loving using that. You know, and that's a stand-in until I get energy burst. Ed William is a champion. The dancing ball's a will save, so usually pretty good save against it, but you know, on the first lifer I'm definitely failing some saves. If I do this on Ginger Spice, you know, I don't typically get caught in that. But if you run by these guys instead of killing them, you know, when you get down there by the ship, oh man, they sit there and throw dancing balls on the ladders. It's ridiculous. I know you've seen it. Okay, jump down over here, get your collectible. There's 4 collectibles in here. It's great XP, awesome item, chance to drop. There's every reason to run this quest every day, if not twice a day. You know, I was talking to, you know, I did this with a pug the other day. And dude was pretty, he was a little disgruntled that I guess he had run this a bunch of times and hadn't pulled his Jibbers blade. And I said, you know, it's a quick quest. You could do it in 10-15 minutes. It's great XP. 4 collectibles, every reason to run it. You know, just keep running it. You're going to get it. And in the meantime, you're going to get tons of XP. And I'm saying that to you. You're going to get it. You know, maybe you're going to be one of the unlucky ones, and it's taking you hundreds of runs, like literally hundreds of runs. And you know, I have a guildie that happened to. You know, I literally did about 300 runs with him, and he just couldn't pull one. And then all of a sudden, within a span of like 3 weeks, he pulled it on all his toons after getting like that long dry spell. You know, sometimes you get shit luck, you know. I got it on all my toons, all 5 of my mains, in like, I want to say like 150 or 200 runs. Just doing Creeping Cold, Greater Creeping Cold, and the rest of the SLAs on the vampire there. You know, if you had the mana, Sunburst is great. It hits him pretty hard. I'll hit him with a Sunburst, see what happens. Yeah, 901. It's not that impressive. But vampires, you know, light spell's good against them. This guy was the toughest. When I did this at 22, oh my god. Trying to get in here and get this Valve, and, you know, getting caught in his dancing balls and all these trash mobs that I was just running by. Oh, it was ridiculous. Kind of wish I would have had it on video, but I had so many embarrassing moments at that level range that it was probably good that I didn't. Those first few epic levels were tough. There were some embarrassing moments caught on video. But, you know, it's trying to make the series as candid as possible. So I'm going to go and clear to the end of this hall, at least to the door, because I've got a little mana left. Even got the bauble. My precious. So I can afford to mana dump down here. We're going to be efficient and just drag everything down to the door. Throw the spell power boost. Start with the Earthquake, Ice Storm, Storm of Vengeance. And I'm going to throw some spells here that, if I'm mana dumping, I'm going to throw Fire Seeds, the Fire Trap version, Fire Trap, the little level 2 spell, and then Flame Strike. Just because I can. I've got those hotkeyed. I don't use them very much, but they're there. Like, if I want a mana dump, I love to hit those 3 spells. And another couple of spells that I like to hit if I'm mana dumping is the regular version of Word of Balance, and then Sunbeam. So you can see I have these all slotted up right here. They're all hotkeyed. There's the regular version of Word of Balance. There's Sunbeam. There's Fire Seeds Trap version. There's Fire Trap. And there's Flame Strike. So just boom, 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 boom. All 5 of those if I'm mana dumping. Just unload them. One of the things, you know, I would have liked to have the Legendary Earth and Mantle, and I tried. You know, I've been going in there just farming the optional, just to get to the chest on Legendary Normal, but I even did it with a Pug on Legendary Elite a couple times, and I re-rolled the chest, like, several times, but, you know, just nothing. And an oversight that I made, I should have been working for, and I probably could have got it too, because it probably dropped when I did all those Legendary Elite Slavers runs. The shield I should be using right now is Legendary Breaker of Bodies. That's a really nice shield. That, until you get your Death Egg Runestone, that's the shield you're going to want, and that drops from part 3 of Slave Lords. It's got a purple slot, it's got like Riposte 8, it's got a decent shield bonus, it's even actually got a little 1 or 2 higher shield bonus than the Death Egg Runestone. So, it's a beautiful shield. You know, you could even compare those stats to the Death Egg Runestone and decide, you know, maybe you just want to keep the Breaker Bodies, Legendary Breaker Bodies. You know what's funny? If you look at this room with the two ledges there, if you've never noticed, this room gets used so many times in so many places in DDO. I mean, it's everywhere. So start noticing that. It's really funny. And I'll just show you, you know, if you're in here, it's an emergency or something like that, you can jump up here. There's kind of a sweet spot. It can be a little bit tricky to get up there, but I like to jump on the edge here or here. Okay, I think you can, yeah. It's some people. It's sometimes it's a little bit tricky to get up there, but as you can see, I'm doing it just fine. Okay, we'll go ahead and do those rounds of spells that I was talking about. All the fire trap, the fire seeds trap, the flame strike, word of balance, the sunbeam that misses because he went invisible. What a jerk. Jibbers is such a jerk. He's so mouthy. Piece of cake, look how close I am. Oh my god. Oh, 32,000. Alright, I've pulled Jibbers blades on 2 videos before. I'll see if I can do it again. So you could totally solo this. Come on now. Nope. Got a gold festival coin. Well, thanks for watching. If you have any questions about my videos, you can respond on YouTube. If you have questions about my build, you can respond in the Druid forums in my build post. If you're on Sarlona, you're welcome to send me a tell, and there is going to be a level 30 video. Today is Christmas Day. It's a belated Merry Christmas. You're probably not going to see this video until like late January, if not February. I'm way ahead of things. But I might just wait and try to do that new quest. I don't know. It's probably going to be too hard for me to solo, but we'll see. Maybe I'll do the EE Demon Queen, just for fun. Thanks again for watching.